Okay, so this is the third video in the series, and if you haven't seen the other episodes, I suggest go and watch them before watching this one. It's not mandatory, but the other episodes will make this one a lot more entertaining, and it'll actually make sense a lot more because I introduce a lot of characters that are kind of pivotal to the series and its development. But you don't have to, but I suggest you do. After watching this one, maybe you can check it out. Honestly, the order doesn't really matter in what you watch them in, if you know me IRL, because you know all the characters already. Yeah, got that. Yeah. So, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. I've had a lot of fun writing these and making these videos for you guys to watch. I've been working on them for quite a while now. I've been recording these in like a stretch of a week. So if you haven't already noticed, I'm slowly on that grind to rank up my duels solos based on all of the footage you've been watching. That's actually the video overlay for this. Now let's actually get into the story time. School is getting wilder and wilder by the day, and I found myself talking to a lot more people who were in my classes and who weren't even in my classes. Dylan ended up joining the recycling club at our school, and he was having a great time with that. But when he was recycling bottles, I was putting together the new deck of the century, and this one was going to kick. At least that's what I thought. Cyber Dragons, a deck I'd always wanted to make but never actually did, became my new deck of choice. But after building the deck, I decided to go straight for the 1v1, and guess what? I kind of failed at that. I mean, I did okay. It did improve my horrible win rate at the time, and I stayed about a 50-50, but it was pretty dominant against everyone else still. Ivan had adopted a new deck by this time. He went from his normal bad dinosaur structure deck strategy to now like a chaos blue eye strategy that revolved around the 400 attack or 4000 attack beat stick that was this stupid blue eyes chaos max dragon. Sometimes it was hard to deal with, but other times it wasn't too bad. As long as you killed him before he could get the dragon out, it would have been fine. Freddy became the Dark Magician player officially. He ended up becoming one of the big three along with Dylan and I. Dylan and I were in the exact same advocacy class and ended up getting to know each other a lot better during that class. I sat next to Emily literally in the front of the class anyways, and I also sat next to her in like two of my other classes at the time. So getting closer as friends wasn't an issue. I also met a couple of other kids in my classes that I would like to talk about. I talked to some kids who were all in my after school, and one of them, we'll call her K because her name starts with a K. And Eunice. This one you know from the hike down. Even though I sat next to Eunice in math class, I barely spoke to her. Like, I asked for a pencil one time, but that's the only significant interaction I can like muster. I really wish I got to know her sooner, because now we're like pretty close friends and it's really fun hanging out with her all the time. Also, Kay and I were already pretty close from after school, and I sat next to her as well during like the first half of the month. We got along really well because, I mean, we already knew who each other were, and math was getting really fun, and the teacher was starting a plan, and this plan was going to be really interesting. In PE, we had a test about football and like the different positions. I passed with an A. I don't remember what we did after that point. It was probably either basketball or like paddle tennis or something. But on the rainy days, we all went into the gym and played musical basketball. Now, musical basketball is the epitome of a battle royale. It's basically where the kids from all of the grades get together in one gym, and basically all of them go against each other to see who can make a shot first, and the last kid standing wins. For some reason, when I was in 6th grade, the 8th graders didn't really win that much. It was mostly the 7th graders who won all the time. But maybe that was just my period. Maybe that was just a characteristic of the year. I don't know. But 7th graders won like all the time. In science, we had a project called the Power Tower. We had to talk about the different kinds of fuel sources and the alternative fuel sources in little paragraphs. We literally made like a paper tower, and we had to put our paragraphs on the tower. It was kind of smart at the time, but I still don't remember anything from that project because of the fact that I can't learn through projects and stupid textbooks. So yeah. Anyways, Mr. W, my social studies teacher, was actually a really funny guy. He used to stand on top of the tables and like fake yell at all of us. It was like really funny. He also had this book that he showed us that where if you opened it a certain way, it'll become all blank, and if you opened it the other way, it would have like pictures and stuff on it. He also liked Imagine Dragons. He was generally like a really cool dude. Like, I feel like Mr. Weeks was like the most relatable teacher out of all of 6th grade. He basically had a lot in common with the kids, and he was just really relatable. Basically, we did a lot of things in that class. We also made like puppets that we would use later on in the year. Hint, hint, foreshadowing. Alright, this is where things get fun. Every year, each grade goes on a sort of overnight trip to a campsite with like cabins. Every time we stay either from 3 days to a week, depending on which grade you are in. And for the 6th graders, the camp was at Lake Arrowhead in the mountains, more than 5,000 feet above sea level. And it was in March. It was only late September at this point in time, but they wanted us to turn our forms in by like winter break because they wanted to get things settled early or something. The cabins were not co-ed for a very good reason. They were split by floors. The guys were on the bottom floor, the girls were on the floor on top of us. Each cabin would have a group of 12 kids in the cabin, and at the time our friend group had only 7 people plus one kid named Jason who didn't hang out with us like all the time, but he played a Blue Eyes deck and it was trash. I mean, nothing. So we put him on the roster, and guess what? We had an 8-man crew in a cabin. 8 is not 12, which means we would get autofilled with 4 randoms. We prepared for the worst. Thankfully, it wouldn't have to turn to that. Anyways, this video is brought to you by speedcubeshop.com. You can get some high quality puzzles at speedcubeshop.com, link in the description down below. They were able to try and help sponsor our cubing club competitions at school, but unfortunately, things fell through due to my lack of planning. I still appreciate their efforts, and I just wanted to say that they're some of the best people in the cubing community. Be sure to check them out. Link in the description down below. That's all for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.